We'll go on the right side to the third row.
Ryan Blackburn, Mile High Sports. Obviously, massive win for the team last night. You guys have a really strong defensive performance. What do you think was the catalyst for that? Was it there was talk about film? There were talk like we talked about the team dinner a little bit at Jeff's house. What do you think was the catalyst for bouncing back defensively?
Yeah, I think we spent a lot of time going through what they're really good at and what they got us on in game two, with their slipping to the 3-point line. You know what I mean? And really just tried to take away the 3-point line. I think they're the number one team in the playoffs, 3-point percentage. So that's a big way that they score their points. So that was just the emphasis, and I think we did a much better job of that.
We're going to go to left side, fourth row.
Hey, Mike. Jake Shapiro, Denver Sports. What did you take away from that team dinner? It seemed like that really had an impact on a lot of your teammates.
Yeah, I think it was great for the team as a whole to kind of disconnect and just enjoy each other's company, make it not about basketball, you know. So I think it was good for us for sure. And then we just got to talk a little bit about the game and things like that. But we all really appreciate Jeff doing it for sure.
We're going to go to right side, third row.
Matt Moore, Action Network. Mike, the other day you kind of commented on how they knew how to anticipate your defensive coverages. Did you guys change those calls last night to cut down on those some? What did you do to mitigate that?
Yeah, they do a good job of hearing what we're doing and then reacting out of that. But I think just the early communication, the loud communication, and just sticking with our calls, and just being more aware of the actions that they're trying to get into. So it just took a lot more preparation, but we did a much better job. I think we still had a few slip-ups, but much better job than game two.
We'll stay on the right side, second row.
Vinny Benedetto with the Denver Gazette. You kind of, I assume, touched on it a bit there, but even though shots weren't falling for you again in game three, do you feel better about your complete performance than you did in game two?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. It's been a couple of rough games for me. I think, I played hard. Defensively pretty good. Still tried to rebound the ball while I was out there. For me, shooting and offense is natural, so I can't put too much stock into a couple of rough games shooting wise. Even though I wish shots were falling, obviously. But really, I'm just glad the team won. But I know there's going to be a couple games this series where the team is going to need me on the offensive end, so I'm looking forward to trying to bounce back in that area as well.
We're going to come to left side, third row.
Steve Ashburner, NBA.com. Michael just reminded us that you're the starting small forward, and he said that before the series ends, you and KCP are going to have shooting nights that help them win. Does that confidence help you, when you are struggling with your shot?
I mean, I wouldn't even say like I'm not feeling confident in my shot or I'm feeling pressure, anything like that. I'm just missing, you know what I mean? And sometimes the ball just doesn't go in. I think there's been a lot of shots that have been right there, I've just missed. So, yeah, I know my teammates have confidence in my shot. I know my coaches do. So, yeah, I'll get it going. Hopefully tomorrow's a better game on that side of the floor for me. But I definitely, we all have belief in each other. So that's one thing about this team.
How satisfying is it for you when you have a game like last night? In spite of the shooting, you get 7 rebounds, you can test some things, to contribute in ways, but it's not necessarily the meat and potatoes of your game.
Yeah, I mean, the playoffs is so much different than the regular season. I'm getting a lot different looks than in the regular season. I think they're paying a lot of attention to me, and they're a really good defensive team. You know what I mean? So Jamal and Nikola have the ball in their hands a lot of the time. I gotta be ready to knock down shots, but they're paying attention to me. I'm missing some shots, but like you said, that can't affect the rest of your game. I thought I did a much better job of that yesterday than in game two. We're going to win a championship playing defense. It's not going to be about our offense. We could have 2 or 3 guys have bad shooting nights and still win a game just off our defense. So that's got to be the main focus.
2 more questions, right side, third row.
Matt Moore, Action Network. Mike, have you guys had film this morning?
Yeah, we did.
What was the message from the coaching staff in that session specifically?
Yeah, there was some things we could clean up defensively. But it was a lot of positives on both sides of the floor. Even though we didn't make some of our threes, we still had a lot of positives attacking the zone. So I think we did a much better job on that end of the floor than we did in game 2 or 1. You know, we got some good looks, and we're due to have an explosive offensive night. I feel like where guys are just clicking like we have all year, but like the defense was pretty good last night, I thought.
Last question, left side, fourth row.
Mike, you're primarily a perimeter player. You had 7 boards, as you pointed out last night. Jamal had 10. Christian had a couple big ones, especially on offense. What goes into offensive rebounding as a perimeter player?
Yeah, it's really just energy and effort. Because if you crash the offensive glass, you know you still got to get back on defense because they're pushing with pace. So if you're gonna crash, you got to know if you don't get the ball, you got to get back. But I just think, you know, it's a timing thing, and then really we're just scrapping and clawing. Like, this is a gritty team we're playing against. It's not always gonna look pretty. So we're just trying to go out there and focus on effort rather than all the uncontrollables, and that's how we'll get this series.
Thank you, Michael.
All right.